Hello guys, thank you for joining us this evening. All right, okay, today's webinar is actually a follow-up on what we are doing this morning. All right, if you have been following us this morning, we have been talking about the reason why the people who are learning from the top producers and super achievers, the people who are trying to learn from them are having issues to uncover the reason why the top producers are really performing well. And at the same time, why the top producers are not really communicating to the people who are trying to get the answers. All right. This webinar is for you if you are really seeking your next level. This webinar is for you if you are really trying to find the secret, so to speak, the secret to your breakthrough. If you have been trying, all right, to break through in your sales, in your life, and you have been facing difficulties, I'm sure this webinar will have some answers for you. All right, it is my objective today to give you as much information as I can based on my 10 over years of mentoring coaching work. Okay, and hopefully you will be able to benefit much from it. Let me right now switch to my slides so that you will be able to get the full, complete information with the visuals as well. All right. Okay. Oh, I'm still trying to figure out about Google Hangout. Apologize for the distractions. Let me get back to the screen, if I may. Yes. So do you see that screen? No, I'm sorry, I couldn't find it. Okay. Oh. Apologize for the technical difficulties. All right, I think I'm going to get it soon. Thank you for your patience. Yes. Yes, do you see that? Thank you very much for the understanding. All right, so, okay, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Leonard. I'm the creator of the Sales Mastery System. The formula to selling is easily and effectively in a one-to-one situation. All right, so this presentation is really meant for advisors, sales advisors, who may be financial advisors, insurance advisors, property advisors, MLM networkers, small business owners, people who need to sell and influence people in order to so-called succeed in what they do. All right. So the formula to selling is easily and effectively in a one-to-one situation. All right. I've created a system called the Sales Mastery System. And Legacy is a mentoring coaching firm for the last 10 over years, and we've been helping our mentees to do exactly that. All right. So many of them has rise up to the top, either in the industry or in their company, receiving their awards, their $1 million round tables, their cut of the table, their top of the table, doubling, tripling, quadrupling their productivity. All right. Top 50 in a company, top 14, top 5, top 2. So these are some of the examples of our mentees and what we have been doing. Our mission is to inspire and affirm excellence in sales and human development. All right. And this is what Eileen said. Eileen said that the coach of a sports superstar, Leonard, will help you propel to your next level of achievement. After I had been through nearly 2 mentoring sessions with him, I was not only able to discover my major blind spots in my sales career, but recover fully the equivalent amount of his fees in first year commissions. What are you waiting for? Okay, so this is just to give an idea of the experience of the people who has learned the sales mastery system, all right, so that you can have a better idea. Go Chanju, manager, MDRT from Greyston, Singapore, say that this is a great piece of work that had detailed the values and qualities which influential people possess. It is indeed very thorough in the clarifications of the various values and qualities. A good read for people who wants to influence others. Okay, this is something that he wrote after reading a book called People, Mastery and Influence, written specially for our mentees in our program. Right? Chanju is a seasoned qualifier of the $1 Million Round Table as well. Tan Chin Ka said that Leonard's passion in helping people to discover themselves is simply unparalleled. I've been personally challenged to grow in my perspectives of life and work through his powerful sharing. Okay, so really what Legacy has been doing in the last 10 over years is basically sharing our perspectives with our mentees and coaches, helping them to change the way they see things. And in so doing, they change the way they think and feel and act. And of course, that leads to the results that they are seeking for. All right. This is a snapshot of my time at the News Radio 938, the news radio, the national news radio of Singapore. I was invited there a total of 3 times, and as their guest speaker to talk about what do you call that? Our program and about mentoring, about coaching, about developing the inner man for peak performance. All right. My time at all right. The following pictures are some of the events, keynotes, facilitations, coaching that I've done in the last 10 over years, and basically it's all about the same thing: to help people to break through, to understand what they have been missing, to see the reason why they are where they are and what is preventing them from achieving what they want to achieve. And all this is either done through talks, facilitations, trainings, basically discussions, basically helping people, bringing out the questions or the thoughts that individuals have, so that even as you bring them out and when you give them the right questions, they will be able to think in a different way. And from there onwards, they will get the answer that they're looking for. Okay, pardon some of the pictures, which is from quite some time ago, and it is actually taken from the albums. So these are all my previous experiences of also learning from the gurus themselves, people who have gone before us, standing on their shoulders to learn much from them, to be able to benefit from their insights, their inspiration, from their expertise. All right. Okay, the reason why I do mentoring, I guess, is has a lot to do with my passion in learning and my passion in helping people to develop themselves to their greatest potential. All right. I remember, when I first stepped into the working world, the first thing that I do is to have a journal book, is to write down the thoughts that I have, is to write down the things that I'm learning. And well, I guess from young I have this inclination to want to learn. And I believe it is a passion that leads me to my adult years. Well, as for mentoring and coaching, I have this passion to really see people succeed, people use the potential that they have within them to make full use of it, to live a great life for themselves, to see someone struggling and not knowing how to unleash their potential and go through life and go through their work miserable, struggling, and not achieving the potential and the results that they can. It disturbs me actually, and I think that is also a main part of why I do what I do. And personally, when I was in sales, I was in financial advisory for slightly over 10 years, and I would say that I didn't start out strong. Although I did manage to sell, I only managed to get my $1 million roundtable, which is the pinnacle of the industry, after 3 years of wandering about and struggling. And even then, when I achieved it for the first time, the next year, I missed it and only qualified for the following year. And throughout all this time, I was seeking help from the experts, which is the pictures that you have seen earlier, and continuing to learn, continuing to read, to reflect and think about things. And it is only when I started my mentoring program, when I partner with individuals, basically friends who I see who are struggling, and they really have no clue as to why they are not performing at the level that they want. So this is what I've been observing. People do not know why they are not performing. They attend all the congresses, they read all the books, they attend all the seminars, they do everything within their power after they have learned. But for some reason, they cannot achieve. And obviously, it troubles them. And I would say that all these people are good people probably like you and me, seeking our best, trying to do our best in our work, for our family, for our company, but something is stopping them. And it is only when I realized, when I first started my mentoring coaching work more than 10 years ago, that I see them struggling, and they are not clear as to why they're struggling. But when I was looking at their situation and when I listened to them, I thought I can see very clearly why they are not making it happen. And it takes me a while, but later on then I realized that, actually I have some insights which I can share to benefit them. And it is at that time that I was pretty much invited quite a bit to many groups to talk and share, and I get many good response. And it was at that time that I began to realize that, I have something that I can contribute to the people. If I can see certain things which they can't, if I can share certain things which they don't know, and after sharing and when they know it, and I can tell them the solution, not only what is stopping them, but to tell them the solution, what they should be doing, automatically the people start to apply what they need to do, and immediately you see the change in their results. All right. So even for myself, as I mentioned, it took me a while to perform, and it was only by learning, continuous learning, and even in my coaching years, although my first mentee achieved her $1 million roundtable, it took me a while for me to also realize that I cannot just provide answers to people, meaning to say I cannot just tell them what they need to do, what should be done. I also have to help them to see what they could not see for themselves, to see what is hindering them. Okay, so if you are listening right now and you have some area of your life that you feel, for example, your sales advisory, and you feel that you are not at your capacity, at your maximum capacity, at your maximum potential yet, what I want to tell you is this: you have something that you need to know about yourself, about the way you think, about the way you work, about the way you see life and see work and see your job and see people and see yourself. All these elements are interfering with what you want to achieve, right? So you must begin to see those things in order for you to change them. All right? If you cannot see those things, there is no way you can change them. And that's the reason why attending seminars, congresses, reading books, seminars, workshops, and all that is of no use if you do not ultimately see the reason and the issues which are hindering you. Okay, I'm going ahead of myself, but let's find out a little bit about you. All right. It is important for you to know yourself, as I mentioned. So the next few slides will help you to address the motivation, the drive that you have. Okay, so identify for yourself, get a clearer picture of what makes you uniquely you, because you are different from the next person. Okay, so let's go. All right, is autonomy what you're looking for in life, in your work? Achieving success, doing what you want to do, when you want to do, to have the freedom, basically. Is that important to you? Is money important to you? Will that really help you? Is that your motivation? Does that drive you? All right, overcoming challenges. Does that move you? Does that drive you? Beating the competition. Is that important to you? Does that drive you? Moving up the social ladder, is that important to you? All right. So as we flash through the slides, being a note within yourself and ask yourself whether these are important to you. Leadership, be a leader that you can be. All right. Rising up to be the leader. All right. Is it important to you? Does it drive you? Personal growth, self-actualization. Is it important to you? Or is not so important? Is it a priority for you? $1 Million Round Table. This one applies to the financial advisors amongst us, the insurance advisors. Is that important to you? How important is it? Does that drive you? Getting more sales, double, triple, quadruple your productivity. Is that important to you? All right. So make a mental note. Know what is the driving force that is uniquely you, uniquely yours. Okay. Full self-expression, standing up, getting your X factor. How important is that to you? Okay. So once you know your motivation, let's think about these questions. All right. So if you are here today, you should be in some form of a sales, because we are really addressing sales advisors. So what have been your sales experience and results so far? How has been your results so far? How has your experience been so far? How long have you been in sales advisory? Are you a new beginner or are you a veteran? What are you dissatisfied with? Which area are you really dissatisfied with? Obviously, the result is one big component. What's stopping you from the outcomes that you want? Do you know what's stopping you? Have you given a thought to that? What is it that you really want? Have you given a thought to that? When you first joined the business, when you first join your sales advisory career, whether is it the network marketing that you are in, the insurance company that you are in, the real estate job that you are doing, all right, or the FA firm that you are in, why do you join there? What was your initial motivation? What is your intention? What is it that you really want out of it? Do not forget the real motivation that you have. How have you tried to improve your results? If you are not getting where you want to go, obviously you must have tried to improve your results. Which way have you tried to improve your results? What are your fears and frustrations in the job that you are doing? Or for that matter, in your life? All right? What are your fears and frustrations? All right? Okay, unfortunately, we are not in a face-to-face situation whereby, in a live situation, normally what we do is that we get people to share, to talk, and then it is from your sharing that I will be able to contribute to you. Okay, but because today we are online, we are on a live webinar, I can only present these questions to you and for you to consider the questions that we are addressing. So right now, let me switch back to the screen so they can see me. Yes, okay, I'm back. All right. If you are here and you have any questions, feel free to type in the chat. I believe there's a chat box somewhere. I'm also new to Google Hangout, but I'm sure we can all learn together. And if you can just put in any questions that you have, I will be able to skew the presentation more for the benefit of you if you have a question in mind. All right. Otherwise, what I want to do is to continue with the presentation and to continue to give you information so that you may be able to use it for your own benefit. All right. So, is there anybody who is brave enough to give a comment, a chat, and we can progress from there? All right. Okay, let me see how to get back again. Screen share. No, showcase. Screen share, Google Hangouts. Okay. Right, we are back here. So, let's continue. Why does the super producers achieve so easily? Have you thought about that? Why are they always up there in the production chart or at the award ceremony? What about the average producers or those who are struggling? What is the key difference between them? Why is there a difference? Okay. So today's webinar is a follow-up from this morning's session. Remember that this morning we are really talking about the secrets to your breakthrough. And we are pondering on the question, is there really a secret? Why is there a secret? Okay, so if you have been having difficulty achieving your goal more easily or achieving it at all, if you have been having that kind of challenge, what I want to suggest to you is that you need to know the secret. You need to know this secret and begin to work on it before you can change your results easily and effectively. All right, instead of fighting the wind. Okay, let me take a look at the next slide. Okay, before I give you the answer, let's have a recap of this morning's session. This morning, we basically said about the fact that this is a secret is because you still do not know about it yet. All right? You still are not aware of the secret, and that's why it remains a secret. The minute you know about it, of course, it's no more a secret. So why is it a secret? Why, like the questions states here, why does the super achievers achieve so easily? And instead, if you are not one of the super achievers, why are you having difficulties? All right. Why are they always up there in the production chart or at the award ceremony? Why is it always the same people? Why is it that you are not one of them yet? If you're one of them and you're listening to this webinar, congratulations. All right. But this webinar is really for people who wants to improve themselves, improve their result. All right. So what we are trying to look at right now is the difference between the achievers versus those who are average versus those who are struggling. So why is it that the average producers are struggling? What is the key difference? Why the difference? All right. So this morning we actually, again, I mentioned earlier, but I say it again. This morning we actually give examples about the super producers sharing. Okay, maybe I should just say the story again. I know a friend who is a card of the table producer who at one time was sharing with the company because he was invited to share at the company's quarterly meeting. And in the morning, and I was among the audience, as he was sharing, I hear the people saying, he's always saying the same things. Work hard, set your goals, have a plan, be committed to what you do, believe in what you do, see 3 people a day, so on and so forth. All right. And then as he was continuing to share passionately on the stage, there are people whom I heard start to say, oh no, I don't think he's willing to share. Well, actually, why would he share? Because that is his secret. He wouldn't want to share his secret with you, with us. All right. And that is the background of the story. That same afternoon, what happened was I happened to get a call from him, and for some reason he started to rattle off, and because we used to talk a bit, and he started telling me of a seminar which he attended, listening to a top of the table producer. All right, he is a core of the table producer. He is attending a top of the table producer. Okay, what is the difference? The top of the table producer is doing double of what he is doing. All right, so to him, this is someone he can learn from. All right, and he himself is a core of the table producer. He is a high flyer. He is doing 3 times of what the $1 million round table producer are doing. So he is a top producer. And to be a $1 million round table producer, he actually, the advisors who are $1 million round table producer, we call it MDRT in short, consists of the top 6% practitioners in the industry in the world. So that is a big deal for people who are $1 million round table producers. And many people in the industry are just hoping and fighting and wishing maybe even to be a $1 million round table producer. So are you one of them? But if you are an MDRT producer, do you want to go to your core of the table or to have a double MDRT production? Or even maybe to go to a top of the table produce to be a production? Is it what you want? Okay, so coming back to the story, he started to tell me of the seminar that he attended listening to the top of the table producer. And he started to tell me that, the top of the table producer, he basically draw a few circles, draw a man, have some arrows, write some words, and then ask some questions and say some things, and then close the big sale. Just like that, so easy. And as I was listening to him, he started to say that it cannot be so easy. I don't think she's willing to share, referring to the top of the table producer. I don't think she's willing. I mean, after all, why should she share, Do you hear what I heard as I say the story? You see, at this juncture, I asked him if I can tell him what happened in the morning. And of course, he gave me the permission, and I told him exactly what happened. And when I come to the part whereby I say, the people say that you are not willing to share. Because why should you share? That is your secret. All right? There was a pause, obviously, and then he blurted out again and he said, that means they didn't catch it. That means they didn't catch it. They didn't catch what I'm trying to tell them. Right? And even as he started to say that, I believe he started to think about what he told me earlier, because this is exactly the same thing he's talking about regards to the top of the table producer when he attended her seminar. The fact that she's not willing to share. All right? It's the same thing. So on one hand, she said that the people did not catch what he's trying to say. On the other hand, looking at the top of the table producer, he said that she's not willing to share, which is the same thing like what her audience said in the morning. So what is it now? All right. So this is the complexity that I'm referring to when I talk about the secret of your breakthrough. If you cannot understand this, you will have a little bit more challenge to unravel that mystery, so to speak. But once you can see it, you will be able to make changes to your thinking, to your perception, to your perspective. And once you get it, you will be able to make changes and move powerfully towards the outcome that you want. All right? So let's continue. What is the answer? What is the answer to all these complexities? All right? The answers I would like to suggest is that the top producers, as compared to the struggling and the average producers, is that they see everything differently. Right? They see everything differently. They see themselves differently, for instance. They see their clients differently. They see their work differently. They see the sales job differently. They see their product differently. Differently as in differently from the top producers, differently from the average producers, differently from those who are struggling. All right? What I'm suggesting to you is that within your perspective lies the answer that you need to see in order to change the results that you want. All right? And unless you do that, you will be trapped within your perception, within your perspective, and nothing can change regardless of whatever you do. All right? And why is it that I'm passionate to tell you this? I want to suggest that the things that really matters are things that cannot be touched and things that cannot be seen. When we talk about your perspective, we talk about the way you see things, we talk about your perception, when we talk about your understanding and your awareness, all these things cannot be touched. It cannot be seen with the naked eye, so to speak. All right, and that explains why many of us are trapped within our perception. We don't even know that we are trapped. We don't even know the reason why things are not changing, why we are stuck, why we are still fighting, why we are not progressing, why someone else is able to achieve the $1 million round table, why can't I? Or why someone can achieve certain awards in the company and certain income level and certain recognition, and why is it that I'm not able to? All right. What I want to suggest is whatever performance level you are at right now, even though you may be at a high level of performance, there is always a higher level which you can aspire to. All right. And what I want to suggest is that your answer lies in the things that you need to see differently. The question is, what exactly are these things that we are talking about? You see, because this is exactly the complexity of the problem. Because it is so intangible, because it is something that we cannot see and that we cannot touch, it becomes very challenging to learn. It becomes very challenging to overcome. Okay, so what I thought of to help you to understand better is to show you some examples of some of the mentees who have come to our program, and to help you to, through their case studies, to be able to understand better what we meant when we talk about seeing things differently. Okay, the first person that I can think of is a gentleman who, when he came to us, he's about probably 15 years in the industry. And in the previous 6 months before he finally decided to seek help, to come for coaching and mentoring, he has not a single sales. And that's the reason why he finally launched himself. That is the push factor to get him to launch himself into the program. And on the first day that he came, we meet weekly for the sessions. When the first time he came, after listening to him, I took the liberty to talk about the importance of one of the modules that we talk about, which is selling mastery. Selling mastery. All right. And for selling mastery, we talk about the 3 Ps: the principles, the process, and the psychology. Okay. So what is happening to this gentleman is that he shared that when he do his job with his prospect or his clients, he will do it professionally. He is a good presenter, all right? He knows his job, and he will do it beautifully. And then he will just push it in front of the prospect and let him decide. And herein lies the problem. Okay, what happened is that the prospects and their clients don't decide, and he left without getting the sale. All right, so in the 3 Ps of selling mastery, we talk about the importance of the principles. And there are 4 ingredients to the principles, and the last 2 ingredients of the principles, I reiterate to him, and that is the fact that he must show his prospects the owner's benefit. the owner's benefits to buying his product. What is the benefits to me? All right. So I told him, you must be able to show this thing, which to a certain extent, to a large extent, he did. But the last component, the last ingredient, I told him, I said, you must assist your prospect and your client. You must assist them. And that one got him. Okay? Because the way he see selling, as far as he's concerned during that time, is that I do my job professionally. I tell them my recommendation, and it is for them to decide what they want to do for themselves and their family. So that's the way he sees. So when I introduce the element of owner's benefits and the fact that you must assist them, it clashes with the way he understands selling. All right? And to further emphasize the point, I bring up the second P in selling mastery. Remember, selling mastery is one of the modules in our 6 modules which we cover for the sales mastery system, the one that I've created for sales advisors. So when we bring up the second P, I talk about the importance of having a process when they are with the prospect. So the process is something I make simple. I call it from ARA to ARA. So it's from rapport to referral. From rapport to referral. In between, there are about 10 steps. But in the last part of the process, there's a part which is called the closing strategy. The closing strategy. The closing strategy has got 5 parts. All right, but basically it leads the advisor. The advisor leads the prospect to talk about to talk about the different things that ultimately lead them to a sale. In short, it means to assist the prospect. All right, so it starts with recommendation, the plan that you recommend based on after the presentation and everything else, and then it goes to answering their objection. Then it goes to quoting of a power phrase, and then it goes to telling of a motivational story, and then it goes to the implementation of the plan. All right, so it's a systematic method, a systematic strategy to close the sale. It's a closing strategy. Okay, so it's in line with the principle of assisting your prospects to buy. You don't leave it to them. You assist them. You assist them by having a closing strategy. All right? So these are just a little bits of the selling process, selling mastery, which is not everything. But based on this information alone, the gentleman understood what was being shared. And he proved his understanding when he appeared again the following week, the next week, with 7 sales. After a drought of 6 months with no sales, in 1 week, he brought in 7 sales, which is, on top of small other sales. All right, the 7 sales are the main sales. There are small little sales that he didn't count, but that is phenomenal. We were so happy for him. All right, and he basically, obviously, is very happy, very glad, and all because why? All because he understands it differently now. He see selling differently. He see closing differently, and because he see things differently, he knows, and of course he must know what he has to do based on the closing strategy, which is the formula provided through the sales mastery system. He implemented, and he see the result. 7 sales, 7 big sales, on top of the small little ones. All right. So this is one example of what happened when someone see things differently. Okay. Can you imagine he don't come if he were to not be at the mentoring program and not to learn those things that I have communicated with him? 6 months of no sales. If the next 6 months pass by, how many sales can he get? Can you make an intelligent guess? Okay, the answer will be very little, if not none. Why? Because as long as you remain in the way of your perception about things, and for him, if he remains in the fact, in the thinking that he do his job and he let his prospect decide without actively assisting him, because they have to decide on their own. If he remains in that thinking, and if he remains in the understanding that he does not have to employ a closing strategy, he just leave it to them, I think we all know the answer. You can give him 6 months, you can give him 6 years. Nothing can change. Nothing will change until your understanding change, until the way you see things change. Can you get what I'm trying to say? All right. So that is the intangible part of us, the unseen part of us, what we are thinking, how we are seeing things, what is the understanding we have of the things that are important, that affects the end result that we are looking for. All right. So unless you understand all this and you start to make changes, unfortunately, you cannot make any progress. Okay, so that is the first example I can think of. Let me think of another example. Another example that I can think of is a lady mentee right now who also did not sell a lot. And at the first session when she came, she was basically sharing how enthusiastic she was when she was at her appointments, trying her best to communicate the latest product, the latest ideas that the company has, and to share the benefits and the features and everything that's important about what they have to the prospect. And her end result is, again, no sales. And obviously she's panicking because despite all the managers' advice, recommendations, teachings to work hard, to work harder, to be the hardest working person, not to give up, something will have to happen, something will change if you don't give up. All the encouragement, all the motivation, despite all this good intention, nothing is changing for her. All right. So at the first session, when she shared those things, again, for her, I brought up the module on selling mastery to communicate to her this time round different parts from the earlier example that I gave. This time around, I told her, I said, the first component, the first P of selling mastery that you have to understand is that there are 4 ingredients that must be satisfied before you make a sale. And out of the 4, the first 2 is that the prospect or the client must like you. They must like you. And then the second one is that they must trust you. They must trust you. Okay? And of course, the third one is owner's benefit, and the final one is to assist, based on the earlier example. But just on the first 2, I try to communicate to her that her job is not to be overly enthusiastic and excited to share and to talk when she's meeting a prospect, but instead to understand that they must like and trust her before her wish can happen, her intention can happen, which is to close a sale. And I went on further to explain to her about the importance of the selling mastery, okay, which is the second P in the selling mastery, and that is referring to the process, which is from aura to aura, from rapport to referral, and the 10 steps in between. And she has to move one step at a time. Okay? And the first few steps are the steps that she missed. And those steps are steps like rapport building, building credibility, fact finding, feel finding, getting information, asking the expert questions. And that leads to the third P, which is sales psychology, asking the expert questions. All right, knowing that people, knowing that she has to be known for the problems that she solved, not so much the solutions that she gave. If she's always giving products and so-called solutions, that is not going to help her to sell. All right. Instead, it must be to be known for the problems that she solved, and that's where the expert questions must come in, for her to know what to ask, what questions to ask, and so forth. And then when she asks the questions, that she must be an active listener to really listen to the answers that the prospect and the clients are giving. All right? Because people buy not because they understand, they buy because they feel understood. All right? So with that, again, she understand it to the best of her ability. The following week, the next week when she came back with 2 sales. And again, we are happy for her. Okay, so let's examine why and how her sales happen. Obviously, there is a change of behavior. Okay, from the time she do it the old ways versus after the new understanding, after seeing it in a different way and executing it in a different way. And of course, she came back with a good report to say that when she do it differently, she can see the prospect's behavior change right before her eyes. They become more engaging, they become more friendly, they become more participative as compared to previously. Previously, they were just cold and quiet, and she's the one talking all the time. All right? And when there's a change that you go through, you can expect a change in results. Remember, Einstein was the one who said, the greatest insanity is to do the same things over and over again and then expect different results. Okay? So you must change. But the question is, what must you change? You must know. You must know what to change and why and how to change. You must see things differently first. You must understand differently. You must see where you are not doing right. And you must know what are the things that you need to do right. And then you will be able to get a different result, a different outcome. All right? I hope you are getting what I'm trying to say. Okay, a final example, and then we move on. This lady, excuse me, is from Herbalife, and when she came, and I asked her the question what she wants to get out of the mentoring program, she mentioned about self-confidence, self-belief, not to be so fearful of rejection, and to obviously get more sales. All right. So for her, after listening to her complete story, I decided to share the module on people mastery. On people mastery, right? I helped her to see that she's a unique person, that she's special, and that she is being loved, as versus what she has told me in the session earlier. Okay. In fact, to cut a long story short, I'm I like to do that. To cut a long story short, I basically tell her, I say, go back, affirm this statement to yourself many times in the day, starting from the day, from the time you wake up to the time you sleep. Okay? And the statement is, I'm deeply loved, completely forgiven, totally accepted, fully pleasing. I'm deeply loved, completely forgiven, totally accepted, fully pleasing. And I say, keep telling that to yourself. Keep saying that to yourself. Okay? Because, we go through the explanation that, in the real world, this statement actually do not apply. Because we know, right, within us that we may not be deeply loved. We may not be completely forgiven. We may not be totally accepted. There are so many conditions in the harsh world, right? We are not deeply loved, completely forgiven, totally accepted, fully pleasing. We are not, okay, because of what has happened in our lives from the time when we are young, from our parents, from our authority figures, from even ourselves, okay, because we are living in a performance-based world. So it's unfortunate or fortunate that human beings have to go through this, and in the process we beat ourselves up, and we start to have lower self-esteem and have a lower self-image than what we ought to. All right, but the understanding that I'm trying to give her is to separate her performance from herself. All right, is to separate her performance from herself. Just because she did not perform well in her Herbalife network marketing opportunity does not mean that she is less worthy as a person. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So separate the person from the performance. All right? You can work on your performance. You ought to work on your performance because that will affect your confidence too. That will affect your results. That will affect your income, your standard of living, your lifestyle, your freedom, so on and so forth. So you ought to work on those things. All right? But even as you work on those things, do not, just because your performance is not there, beat yourself up and pull yourself down, because you, the person, is precious, is important, is special, is unique. Okay? And it's not for others to see it this way for you. It is for yourself to understand it and then to see it this way for yourself. You understand what I'm trying to say? So this is the message that I give her, and to go back and affirm that statement to herself. And there are probably other things that I talk about, but maybe this is not a time to elaborate on it. But the following week, the next week when she came, she was beaming. She was seemingly very happy, smiling, without saying anything, keeping all of us in suspense. But after a little while, I managed to dig some information out from her, and this is what she said when I asked her, so how's everything? Did you go out and talk to the people? How was your experience? And she probably giggled a little bit, and she said, I don't know. I really don't know. But I have no fear. I have no fear as compared to previously. And I don't know why, but people seem to like me very much. They seem to like me very much. In fact, they come to me. I don't go to them. And when we listened to this, we were so happy for her. I was so happy for her. Well, it's working. It's working. All right? The way she sees herself, the way she changed the way she understands about herself and about the job, which is the selling job, is reaping results. And it's even drawing people to her without her stepping out. And because she has no fear, probably she is in a different vibration, and she begins to enjoy the process, which is so important for her. And that leads her to do her job effectively and more easily. The first week she didn't get any sales. I don't think she got any sales, but it was a big jump for her to be able to enjoy the kind of response from the people surrounding her. So can you imagine, from a fearful person to a person with no fear? Fearful for her means to ask people, to approach people, which she must because she's a sales advisor, selling her slimming program, her health supplements, and the opportunity that is available, the big opportunity that is available in her hands. All right. And when she doesn't have that fear, it makes such a big change for her. And of course, the fact that people come to her now makes it so much easier. Okay, so can you see now why is it that when you see things differently, your results will change? Okay, obviously, it's important for you not just to, for example, if I were to say they see everything differently. So what is the everything? There are many things that has to be addressed within the 6 modules that we are talking about. Okay, I've given you a few examples, but obviously we cannot do it in this webinar to talk about everything. But suffice to say that you must understand the principle of how you can yourself tackle the secret that we are talking about, so that when you listen to the next super producer talk, you will be able to understand what he or she is talking about. All right? And when you are the person who is invited to share, and when you have an audience of 20 or 100 or 1,000, you will also know that as you talk, not everyone is going to understand what you are saying. And why is it that they cannot understand you? All right? And having the understanding of this secret, so to speak, will allow you to be more effective, whether communicating with your friends, your associates, or even your clients. Because this is actually a human issue. We are addressing a human issue. We are not addressing a sales issue. It is in the human psychic, the human dynamics that we have problems like this. I call them blind spots. These are our blind spots. We cannot see our blind spots. And as long as you cannot see your blind spots, you cannot improve. You cannot get what you want. You cannot change your results, however hard you want to try. All right? What I want to suggest to you is this. If you ever change anything, it's because you saw your blind spots. How you see it, well, it can come sometimes on its own. Thank God for that. Maybe during a prayer, it reveals to you something like that. Or maybe during a seminar, it can happen at that moment when somebody says something that you can identify with. It can happen like that, right? But generally speaking, it takes a long time before someone can really appreciate and see their blind spots. In fact, I believe that many of us will live our whole life without seeing the blind spots. They are crucial for us. And that explains why many of us will struggle throughout the different areas of our lives. All right? But today we are talking about sales advisory. So if we were to narrow it down to your work in sales advisory, if you want to achieve the results that you want, you must see your blind spots in this area. All right? And when I talk about in this area, I'm referring to the 6 modules that you must begin to be aware of, and then to understand it, and then to relate that to your personal life and to your personal situation, and tackle them. And once you tackle them, your results will come. So this is the problem to the high achievement that you are seeking. Whether is it the high achievement, the awards, or the conventions that you are looking for, the greatest problem is that you do not know that you do not know. Meaning to say, you cannot see your blind spots. It is the same thing, all right? So if you do not know why you are not getting the desired outcomes, you will not be able to change your outcome. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does it make sense to you? If you do not know why you are not getting your desired outcomes, you will not be able to change your current outcome. You are stuck. It's not that you don't want to change. It's not that you want to be stuck. It's not that you like to be stuck. It's not that. It's just that that's the way it is. Because you have blind spots. You cannot see those things. So begin to see and understand which part of your work and life is not taken care of correctly, then make the necessary changes. And you'll begin to see immediate results, just like the examples that I give to you. Come back 1 week with 7 sales, all right? Come back 1 week with 2 sales. Come back with confidence, with joy, with happiness, with people drawing near to you and being glad and happy about it and enjoying the ease of working. You will see immediate results if you are able to do that. All right? Okay, so what I want to do right now is to come back to you and answer any questions if you have. Otherwise, oh yes, I would like to avail this to you, all right? If you want to uncover your blind spots, and if you understand what I've been talking about, and you want to uncover your blind spots, you think you have blind spots, you can identify with what I'm saying. And because all of us are unique, just like the 3 examples that I give, everyone is unique. Each have their own issue, all right? And the way to help them is actually all different. So if you want some assistance in this area, what I want to suggest to you is take this opportunity while I'm doing this webinar, all right? And copy this down, copy this link down, fill up the form, and I will get a copy of it when you submit it, okay? It will give me an idea of the situation that you are in, and what I'll do for you is a clarity call. I know I will probably spend some time with you, about 20 minutes, to give you some insight to what I see in your form, and to give you some guidance and even some strategy if I can, with the time, the limited time for the clarity call, so that you will become clear. And clarity is power. All right. When you have clarity, you have power. When you have power, you can act and you can step out and do something about it. Okay. Of course, if you want to take it to the next step, I have my programs which I can recommend you, but that's for you to decide if that's whether you are ready for it. You have to be ready. If you're not ready, you can't do anything. All right. And let's do it one step at a time. First thing is to be able to understand what I'm saying. If you feel that you did not get the full picture or you didn't join us at the beginning of the webinar, I would like to invite you to listen to the recording once again, because this recording will be found in my YouTube channel, all right, after the webinar. And listen to it again, try to understand what is being shared, and when you can truly understand it, and you feel that you want to address your issues because you are serious to want to change your result in 2016, we are days away from 2016, and you are serious, you say, I'm ready, I want to make a change, I want to double my production, I want to do my $1 million round table, I want to double my income, triple my income, I want to achieve my goals, it is time, I am ready. I want to encourage you, fill up the form, submit it, and I will get immediate access to it. Allow me 48 hours to come back to you, and I will arrange a hangout or a Skype session with you. 20 minutes of clarity call I can offer you, and hopefully it will be of great help. All right. So that's all for the presentation parts. Okay. All right. So if you do have anything, you can chat here. Otherwise, I've actually fulfilled what I want to do today at this webinar, to give you the insights necessary to know the secrets. Okay, the secrets to the things that we've been talking about. Lots of information that I've given you. Hopefully it has been useful. Feel free to connect with me if you need to. I like you to fill up the qualification form once again if you feel that you are ready. And once you're ready, when you're able to make the decision, I will be able to help you. Our inner circle members will be able to help you, to assist you, to partner you, to go to your next level. And hopefully the clarity call will be of great benefit to you. Okay, so until my next webinar, let me sign off right now. Okay, and I see you next time. Good night, good morning, everyone. Bye-bye.